Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Adventurous Ukuleles. It's another Saturday morning in lockdown in the UK, but hopefully not for too much longer. We are looking at a possible emergence from lockdown, maybe in the next month, maybe in the next couple of months. Who knows exactly how it's going to go on, but for now we're still making music in our own houses via the magic of technology with each other. So this morning we are going to be looking at A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman film, which I've not seen. However, I know this song pretty well. We have done it before at the ukulele group that we ran pre-COVID. And we played it at a rather big concert in Manchester. Great time. Thank you to those who took part in that. So this is the arrangement that we played there. It was arranged for ukulele, French horn, choir and piano. Which is a bit of an odd combination. No strings involved except for the ukuleles. The choir doubling up as the kind of orchestral string sound, and the horn providing a nice counterpoint to the soloists. Right, so let's dive in. Before we start, you're going to need a ukulele or some sort of instrument. You can just watch for entertainment value, but if you're just watching for entertainment, then I suggest you just check out the performance video, which we're going to watch in a minute. But you could also join in on a kazoo, on a cajon, on a guitar, on a trumpet, on a piano that you've lugged into where your computer is. Anything you want to join in with, even just your voice. It's a great song to sing, this one. There's even two parts to it, so you can get a little duet going. Before we go any further, let's have a listen to the song that we're going to play.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They could say it all sounds crazy. They could say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We could live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we could build, every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things we compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We could live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be a part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see.
To the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me awake.
A million dreams. I think of what the world could be. A vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed that. That was A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman. Really good song, in my opinion. And you'll be pleased to hear, quite easy to play on the ukulele. I've actually tagged this video on my website, and anyway, as a beginner ukulele video, because I think the verse and the pre-chorus and the chorus are actually really quite easy to play. Particularly if we use a few tricks and chord variations that simplify the fingering. So this could be really straightforward for some of you. Even if you haven't played a ukulele for very long, I'd say if you've been playing a couple of weeks, quite most days, or maybe a month, maybe once a week, then you should be able to play this. It uses chords that you're probably going to know, and if you don't know them, they're not that hard to learn. There is a chance for extending the complexity slightly by doing a finger-picked intro, as you saw in the video. And of course, the bridge is slightly trickier, only that it uses chords that we're not familiar with. Even the more adventurous of us might not be familiar with some of the chords we use in the bridge. But again, they're not that hard to play. The rhythms are fairly straightforward, and the structure isn't too complicated. So, what's not to like? I'm sure Andy will find something, but it's a good song to play on the uke, so let's have a look at how we play it. You probably noticed that I've got a hat on now. Do feel free to join me in the hat wearing. It's become a bit of a tradition. Let's get some music on the screen and see what we're up against this morning. You can find links to this chord chart in the video description, just down below. There's also a link to a full score that contains the tab for the finger-picked intro, so I'll briefly put that on the screen later on when we come to it. Right, do let me know in the chat if there's anything to say. I'm just checking what we've got. Brings back some good memories. Yes, it does bring back some good memories. Thank you to Sophia for helping me out with the girl part. She did very well, I'm very pleased. So, right, let's have a look at this song. We've got chords on the screen. I'm just going to shuffle myself over slightly so you can see my fingers. We are in the key of G this morning. So what chords might we expect in the key of G? Well, I'm glad you asked. The key of G, as every other major key, has 6 different chords and possibly a 7th one that you could redefine as a variation of one of those previous 6. So chord number 1 in the key of G is G major. You should be fairly familiar with this one. Triangle shape, 3 strings nearest the floor. 0, 2, 3, 2. Chord number 2 in G major is the next letter of the alphabet, the next letter of the musical alphabet, which is A, of course. G, A, B, C. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. We start again every when we've reached past G. Unless you're in Germany, in which case they introduce G. They go from C. They go C, D, E, F, G, A, H, C. Long story, gets up my nose, but who's to say they're not right and we're wrong? Other than logic and common sense. But there's a lot about music that doesn't make logical sense, so the Germans and the Swedes might well have this right, and we could be using the alphabet in order for all the wrong reasons. Anyway, chord number 2 in the key of G is A. And chord number 2 is always a minor chord in a major key, so it's an A minor chord. Second finger, second fret, string nearest to your head. Chord number 3 in the key of G is the next one after A, which is B. Chord number 3 is also minor, B minor. However, we're not going to be using that today. There is no B minor in this song, so you can ignore that. Chord number 4 in a major key is always major, and in this case it's a C. Should be familiar to most of you. Third finger, third fret, string nearest the floor. Chord number 5 is also major, that's going to be a D. 3 fingers in a row on the second fret, leaving the string nearest the floor open. Chord number 6 is always minor, and what comes after D? It's E, so E minor, a diagonal line, open on the G, and then 4th, 3rd and 2nd frets moving down towards the floor. And then chord number... no, that was chord number 6, so chord number 7, we technically is a diminished chord. It'd be on the note F sharp, because our key of G has 1 sharp. Musical theory reasons. So F sharp diminished is always, or a diminished chord is the 7th chord in a major key. But diminished chords, they're quite useful, but we don't often use them just as diminished chords. They're very, very close to being chord number 5 with an extra 7th, a 5-7. In this case, a D7 chord. But again, in this piece, we're not going to be using a D7. So those are the chords we expect to see in the key of G major, and looking at the top of our sheet, sure enough, we've got Gs, we've got Ds, we've got E minors, in fact we've got E minor 7s, we've got Cs, we've got C add 9s, and we've got A minors. So you can see our chords from our key, we're firmly in the key of G major. Now I've written in the standard chords G, D and C there, but all of them can have variations. Well, the G can as well, but I haven't written that one in. The D chord is normally played with those 3 fingers in a row, but I'm often going to play it, as always, when I'm in the key of G major, a D add 4 works really nicely. Adds a bit of a sparkle to the chord. It gives us that G note on the string nearest our head, which adds a little bit of a consistency throughout the chord sequence, because the G is the home key, the home chord and the home note, so it's never going to sound bad really unless we're drifting away from the tonal centre. So a D add 4, it works really well as a substitute for a D, and then a C add 9 here also has that finger added, which is actually a D. Adds a little bit of a sparkle to the C chord as well. So we've got 2 variations straight away. But although they look complicated, and our rule is you can always ignore letters and numbers after a chord, as long as you don't ignore whether it's major or minor, you can always ignore them and just play the chords you know. But in this case, the D add 4 and the C add 9 actually make it easier to play. Trust me on this. The other chord is an E minor 7. Sounds more complicated than E minor, but it's actually easier to play. It's just like a G chord with the 3rd fret missing. And those are the chords that will get us through the intro, the verse, the pre-chorus and the chorus. So let's have a look at how this works. Our intro is the same chord sequence as our verse, so let's have a look at this. G major for a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the G. Then we're going to go to a D add 4. I can keep my first finger where it is. Just drop my second finger onto the 2nd fret of the E string. There's our D add 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then an E minor 7. Again, keep that finger where it is. Hop that finger over by a string to the one nearest the floor. 2nd fret. There's our E minor 7. 2, 3, 4. And then a C add 9. Keep that finger where it is. Drop in your 3rd finger to the 3rd fret on the string nearest the floor. 2, 3, 4. You see that finger stayed where it was the whole time. Second line of the intro, G, that finger stays where it is. 2, 2, 3, 4. D add 4. This time straight to a C. You can do a normal C or you can do a C add 9. They both will sound good. So let's hear that 8-bar sequence all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. 2, 3, 4. D add 4. E minor 7. C add 9. I've written as a C, but play a C add 9. G. D add 4. C or C add 9. 2 bars of that chord at the end. There we go. That is the intro sequence. Can you see how using that D add 4 and the C add 9 mean you can keep that first finger on the 2nd fret of the C string all the time? If you want to, of course, you can play the normal D and the normal C if you find that easier. But I think that makes keeping that finger where it is makes it easier and sounds better. So it's a win-win situation. That chord sequence continues throughout the verse. So let's see if we can fit some words to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. I close my D eyes and I can E minor 7. C. A world. C add 9. Waiting up for me. G. That I D call my own. C. Hold the C for another bar. We do the same thing again. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. There we go, nice and steady. I'm just doing 1 strum per chord. So, although there's got some awkwardly looking named chords in there, I reckon that is about as easy as it gets for strumming a simple chord sequence and singing along. The melody's not that easy to sing, but it's a great melody. But in terms of the uke playing, this is great stuff. Dead easy to play. I hope you agree. If not, let me know in the chat and I'll try and explain a bit more. But I don't think you're going to need much more than that. It's a little bit quicker than we just played it. It's this kind of speed. I close my... Oh, count myself in, Tim. 1, 2, 3, 4. I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. That's about the speed that we want to aim for. So I'm hoping you're not going to have too much trouble with that. While we're here on the verse and the intro, there is of course this finger picking pattern that plays through the intro and also through the verse. So we can just play the chords, absolutely fine, and it's quite nice if someone is playing the chords while someone else does the finger picking pattern. So the finger picking pattern sounds like this. You've already heard it once, but here we go again. That was the 8 bars of the intro or the first half of the verse, and I'm briefly going to put the score on the screen. Oh, that's the second page. There's the first page, and it's not very well aligned. Give me a moment here. There, let's move that to there. That looks better. So you can see on the score, that's also linked in the video description, we've got a tab for this intro. Now it's a bit small on the screen, I appreciate that, so do download it for yourself and have a look. But I'm going to describe how to play it as well, so if you'd rather not read it but just watch my fingers, then watch closely. This is how we do it. Each chord that comes in that intro sequence has a shape that we associate with it. We don't always follow the chord shape itself, but we stick to that shape that we are playing for the duration of each chord. So 4 beats on each shape. Our first shape is basically going to be these 2 strings from a G chord. I'm not going to use the same fingers as I use for a normal G chord, although you could if you wished. I think it's easier to use first and second fingers on the 2nd and 3rd frets. Like that. And we're just going to play the E string, that's the one second from the floor, with your thumb of your right hand. Keep your thumb relatively straight, pointing down the neck of the ukulele. And then you're going to play the A string, which is the one nearest the floor, with your first finger. Or your second finger, up to you. I'm using my first. And that needs to be curled in behind where the thumb's picking, so you don't end up trying to pick the same point on the strings. So a little bit of simple finger picking here. You should find you'd be picking almost with the side of your thumb. Not like this. Keep your thumb almost parallel to the strings. Whereas your fingers coming down much more directly like that. There's my thumb, finger. So we're just going to alternate between the thumb and the first finger. We're going to do it 8 times or for 4 beats. So each note is going to be worth half a beat. So it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Not too complicated. We'll take a bit of getting used to the finger picking if you've not done it before. Make sure those notes are nice and even. No changes yet for the left hand. For the next bar, the bar of D, or D add 4, we're going to simply lift the first finger off, slide the second finger down by 1 fret to the second fret. Same pattern with the right hand. It's very chasing carsy, this intro. So those 2 bars together, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So far those shapes have just been the top 2 strings of the chord shapes themselves. Now for this E-7 we're going to change to a different shape. We're going to have an open E string and then 5th fret on the A string. That's a big jump. So you're going to need to use your little finger for that 5th fret. Our 1 finger per fret rule means if we're down here, our little finger should be reaching up there. It's not strictly 1 finger per fret because we've just slid that second finger down. But rules. You can ignore the rules if your teacher says. 1 finger per fret from there would mean that we can't get to the 5th string, which is why I'm breaking the rules. So open E and 5th fret on the A. Again, 4 beats on this, so 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we go to the bar of C, and again it's not quite the C chord. This time I'm going to put a 3rd fret down on the E string and not as normal the A string, and move my right hand down. So I'm going to play the C string and the E string, second from my head and second from the floor, the middle 2 strings. And again 4 beats on this. More than 4 there. There's a little twiddle at the end if you want to add in, although you can just play those 2 notes over and over again. You can just play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But if you're feeling adventurous, then you can do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get it right, Tim. 1 and 2 and 3 and. I've not done it while I've been counting. Let's just check what I've written. No, I haven't printed that bit out. As always. There we go, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going back up to the A string on the and after 3, 3rd fret there, and then down to the 2nd fret on the same string on the and after 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Thumb always stays on the open C string. That's our first 4 bars, let's do those together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G. D, strange E-7, strange C, twiddle, then we do the same thing again, there's the G, D, and we go straight to that strange C, and we can stay there for 2 whole bars. So that whole intro, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and the D, 1 and 2 and 3 and strange E-7, 2 and 3 and strange C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G, 2, 3, 4 D, 2, 3, 4 C for 2 whole bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That is the finger picking pattern for the intro and all the way through the verse. Again, it goes slightly quicker. So I tend to count it in, I only count twice per bar. I'm tapping my foot. We call this split common time. Normally 4/4 is a very common time signature. We call it common time. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it gets quite tiring when we're counting quite quick 4/4. We often say split 4/4 or split common time, which just lets us count on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we kind of halve the number of things we actually stamp our foot to or click in our head or have a metronome going for. And it helps us to keep pace up. So if in split common time we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now that is quite fast, so you will need to practice it slowly first. Golden rule: when something is difficult, learn it slowly. Even when something's easy, learn it slowly. Cannot emphasize it enough. Play things slowly before you try and speed them up. And that's probably one of the trickiest parts of the song done. So let's push ahead to the pre-chorus. We've just done the intro and twice through the same sequence again for the verse. Then we get to the pre-chorus. If we've been strumming up to this point, we've probably just been strumming one strum per chord. So now for the pre-chorus, let's build the tension a little bit. Let's strum a bit more often. Let's strum once per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, that kind of speed. Or that kind of strumming pattern. Let's look at the chords. We start off with a D or a D add 4. 4 beats on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then move to an E minor 7. Again, that finger can stay where it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add in that finger again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes it into a C add 9. And the pre-chorus is just those 4 chords 4 times through. Let's do it once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. D add 4. E minor 7. C. C add 9. And again, D add 4. E minor 7. C. C add 9. Good, I hope. I'm strumming once per beat there to give it a bit more go, a bit more build of the tension. And if you want to, you can start increasing that tension by strumming a little bit more often. Maybe moving your hand as if you're strumming every 8th note, just like we were playing that bit. There's that rhythm again here. You could start to do that. Don't overdo it though. I'm still emphasizing 1 per beat, but I'm just adding a suggestion of another little strum in between. And then as we really build it, we can live in a world that we design. Drop it quiet, build up the tension. You can do a huge crescendo there, a getting louder moment. I was doing it, so on a piece of music it would look like a crocodile clip going that way. I'm doing it backwards for the benefit of the camera. That's what a crescendo is, and it means you're going to get louder. Now, a good way to do a crescendo is to go quiet first so that you've got some headroom to hear the difference as you get louder. So often when you see crescendo, it means go quiet to start with. That's a practical tip for how to play it. Let's put the words in. Pre-chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... They can say it all sounds crazy. D. They can say, like E minor, say I've lost my C mind. C add 9. Start to build up. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. Quietly build up. Into the chorus with a big crescendo there. Sometimes I'll put a little pause in at the beginning of the last bar so we get this world that we design. Pause. Dun, 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 dun. So actually start that last bar with a silence and then build that crescendo up with 8th notes or quavers. That's the pre-chorus. Nothing difficult about the chords there. You can keep that finger down the whole time if you play C add 9s all the way through. This finger is going to start to get tired if you're not careful. Right, that's the pre-chorus. Let's have a look at the chorus. The chord changes here are further apart. There's 2 bars per chord almost all the time. So watch out for that. We've got to count 8 or 2 lots of 4 for each chord. So here we go. First chord is G for the chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we're going to be playing every quaver, every eighth notes. So 8 times per bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Then move to the D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we go to an A minor, which we haven't used before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Then back to a C. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and same thing again. G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and A minor. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2. Then C major. 1 and 2 and hold the C major for 4 bars, but put a break. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back to the verse. So the last 2 bars of the C, there's 4 bars in total of C major, but the last 2 of them just have 1 strum at the start and held on for the rest of the 7 beats. It makes sense when you put the words in, so let's do that. Just checking the chat. Change the sheet, thank you. I always think I've got it nailed this time. Pride goeth before a fall, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies. So pre-chorus didn't. Well, the sheet wasn't up. So pre-chorus, you can see this sheet now. Easy chords: D, E minor 7, C, and C add 9, and the chorus. Okay, we have done the chorus there. The chords are straightforward. Let's do it with the words. I will shout the chords out as we go. Apologies for that. So chorus with the words 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G. Every night I lie. Give me this right, Tim. You're throwing me off, Andy. It's my own fault, I know. 'Cause 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 'Cause every night I lie in bed. D. The brightest colours fill my head. A minor. A million dreams are keeping me awake. There's the C. Back to the G. I think of what the world could be. D. A vision of what I see. A minor. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. C. Hold that C and a break. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. Let me go back to the verse. Right, I'm gradually recovering my composure after my flusteredness there. We've got the chords back on the screen. So the chorus there, we've got that A minor chord in there, which we haven't used before, but thank goodness it's a really easy chord. And we've got that break at the end for that C while the singers go, for a million dreams. So you just got to wait for them to finish. And when they say the word make, that's when you start playing the intro again. For the world we're gonna make. Actually, it's not on make, it's just after make. For the world we're gonna make. And we're back to our intro finger picking pattern, or our strummed chords. So that is the bulk of the song, probably about 80% of the song we've just covered. Basically only 4 chords, 5 chords if we include the A minor. Nothing particularly difficult there. I'm hoping you're finding that nice and easy. So let's put that chorus, let's put those things up to full tempo. We can do a verse, a pre-chorus and a chorus at full tempo. See if you can get those chord changes in there. So I'm going to strum this now so that I can illustrate how our strum pattern increases in intensity. So start off with probably a single strum per bar. So full tempo, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Second half of the verse. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. Now I'm going to strum once per beat, gradually increasing. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. Feel that added little energy by that strum. I don't care, so call me crazy. Add a few extra bits in. We can live in a world that we design. Crescendo. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colours fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. Strumming every quaver. Think of what the world could be. A vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. And break for a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. And we're back to the verse. As you can tell, that chorus is written for a small boy to sing in the film. I've not seen it, but on the recording, it's young Barnum who's singing that bit. So it's a little bit high for me. For the video, I had to warm up really properly to get those, and even that's a bit of a struggle this morning. So when we get to the chorus, we're strumming every quaver, but you've got to be careful not to overdo it. It's actually quite quiet. It's tense, but it's not. We're not doing thrash metal here this time. Maybe next time. So keep your hand movements restrained slightly so that you're not absolutely leathering the strings. We want to be tense, but not thrash. Every night I lie in bed. I'm actually really only hitting the first few strings. I'm not actually going for all the strings with maximum power. So keep it reserved. We want to have a little bit of headroom for later on in the piece when we really want to build it. So there we go. That's the first part of the song and most of the song covered. Add in that finger picking pattern if you wish. Let's have a look at the second page though, because there's a sneaky little bridge creeping in and it's got some juicy chords. Really nice chord sequence this, but it can look a bit daunting to start with. So there's a lot more chords used in the bridge than there is in the entire rest of the song. However, some of them are familiar, so A minors, G's, C's and D's shouldn't be a problem for us. We have got a D sus4 at the end. You could play a D add 4 for that. I haven't put the D sus4 on the chart for some reason known only to myself late last night. But a D sus4 is 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and then an open string. If you wish to play a D sus4 at the end there. The rest of the chords, let's have a look at them. We've got an E minor, and then an E minor major 7. It's a bit of a mouthful. And then an E minor 7. Oh, that's familiar. And then a C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Or a C sharp half diminished, as it's sometimes known. I like the minor 7 flat 5 because that follows our rule for it's a C sharp minor chord with a 7th and a flattened 5th. The numbers tell you which notes to add to the primary chord. Then we've got a C and a C add 9, we know those. We've got G's and then we've got a sneaky A diminished 7 just popping in. That's the hardest chord of the piece. So it is optional. You can skip that one if you want, but it's great to get it in there. Then we do the same thing again, this time going to an A minor instead of a C. And we've got G's and C's and D's to finish with. Let's see how it sounds. There's the E minor. Here's the E minor major 7. Bit James Bondy. Then an E minor 7. And then a C sharp minor 7 flat 5. And if you listen to this note in particular, there's that note in the E minor. Then in the E minor major 7, it's dropped by a semitone. And then in the E minor 7, it's dropped by another semitone. And then in the C sharp minor 7 flat 5, it's dropped by another semitone. All we're doing is this. in each chord. E minor major 7, E minor 7, C sharp minor 7 flat 5. So the sequence is predictable. We're just dropping a note by a semitone, which is why it sounds good. It's called voice leading, where you have notes moving through the harmony in small steps, so it's easy to sing. You can lead your voice down it, and it's a very good technique when writing chord sequences, looking where the notes can move to easily to make the next voicing of the chord. So E minor, we play a normal E minor for this, the 3 fingers in a diagonal line on 4, 3 and 2. E minor major 7, we need to keep that first finger where it is and swap these 2 round, put them both on the 3rd fret this time. This is the chord that James Bond finishes with. Da 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 da. Wrong key entirely, probably the wrong bit of the song, but trust me, that's the chord that James Bond finishes with. Then we go to our E minor 7, and I would play it with the 2nd and 3rd fingers, however you normally play it. So that means sliding down the 2nd finger, taking the other 2 off, dropping the 3rd finger down onto the string nearest the floor. That means then your 1st finger is ready to go to the 1st fret for the C sharp minor 7 flat 5. You could also call that an A9. We are missing some notes for an A9, so technically a C sharp minor 7 flat 5 is a better way of describing it, even if it's a bit of a mouthful to say. So 1 bar on each. Let's do it 1 strum per chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor. Swap those fingers around, move to the 3rd fret. E minor major 7. E minor 7 played with the 2nd and 3rd fingers. Then drop the 1st finger in, take the 2nd finger away to get the C sharp minor 7 flat 5. If you've got that, I think that's not too bad. It looks complicated, sounds good, and actually isn't as hard as you thought. Now we need to play it 1 strum per beat, but staccato. That was my attempt at an Italian accent. Staccato means short and detached. We're going to put a break between each chord. So rather than going, that's more legato. Staccato would be. So I'm going to stop the sound of the strings with my right hand immediately after I've played it. I'm using the side of my hand for that, so I don't have to uncurl my fingers and put my hand flat, because then I have to curl them up again immediately to strum the next chord. So I'm keeping my hand in the strumming position and using the side of my hand. So we don't get daylight between each beat there. There's a gap. That carries on all the way through the C. Share your dreams with me. We've got 2 beats of a G, then this A diminished 7. 2 beats there. Now that A diminished 7 feels a bit like a G7, but we've got an extra note. So it's not going to be like a chord we've played before, but any diminished 7 chord can be played like this. There are only 3 diminished 7 chords possible to play. Did you know that? Only 3. All got different names, but this A diminished 7, you could equally well call it an E flat diminished 7, or an F sharp diminished 7, or a C diminished 7, however you want to call it, because all of those notes are in it and it's the same intervals between them. Anyway, enough theory. Let's look at the second half of the bridge. Same sequence to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor major 7, E minor 7, C sharp minor 7 flat 5, C major, A minor this time, 2 bars of that, and then we can just do long strums on the G. 2, 3, 2 beats on each strum. Then the C. Now this section here makes far more sense when we put the words to it, so let's go back to the beginning of the bridge and put the words in. I'm just seeing some chat. There are no cats for miles around. I think Andy's criticising my singing. Good, Andy, I'm looking forward to hearing a recording of you singing this at the proper pitch. Right, back to the beginning of the bridge. I'm going to put the words in this time so that we can hear how the last bit fits with the chords, because there's quite long chord sections there with not a lot going on otherwise. 1, 2, 3, 4. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. Here comes the A diminished. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see. To the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. So when we get to that G chord at the end, on the fourth line of the bridge, I can start doing long strums every 2 beats. And then when we get to the D right at the end, we can start building up. I'm actually switching to a normal D on the last bar. You can tell I was getting tired by the time I finished this chord sheet. It's getting less and less accurate. Andy's always played D sharp. I can't quite see, it's very small. Computer's too far away. D sharp diminished 7 after G, which I guess is the same. Let's have a think. Yes, D sharp is the same as an E flat. That one's got an E flat in it. The diminished 7 chord, the notes in it, you can call that chord by any of those notes because the intervals between them are the same. If you start a diminished 7 chord on an E flat, it's minor, a minor third followed by a minor third followed by a minor third. So if you do the same thing from an A, you end up with the same notes. So yes, Andy, an E flat diminished 7 or a D sharp diminished 7 is the same as an A diminished 7. Right, full tempo for the bridge is 1, 2, 3, 4. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong. Say that you'll bring me along to the world you see. Long chords. To the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Build it up. And then we go back to the chorus. But the chorus we go back to doesn't have any ukuleles. We're just going, because every night I lie in bed. In fact, we probably need some ukulele. It's normally just the choir singing there, or the strings. So we could just do 1 strum per chord, hold it for 8 beats. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colours fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. And then we come back in and think of what the world could be. So let's switch the chord sheet back before I forget. So we're back to the chorus there. The final chorus has a few wrinkles in. We had that quiet opening section. Then we do a loud second section. And what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. And the break. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. And this time we keep it strong. We play G, D, E minor 7 and C, which is the same chords as the start of the verse, strongly while the singers hold on, make. And then we pause on the C. We wait for the singers to do, for the world we're gonna make. And then we play the first line of the intro as an outro. So the final chorus, we're going to play that together first before we do the whole thing. Here we go. We've just come from the bridge. Close my eyes to see. Final chorus. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest
brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. A million dreams. I think of what the world could be. A vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's the pause. For the world we're gonna make. Finish on a last strum of a C. On a C. I ruined it at the end there. Moment of doubt. And we're going to leave it hanging on the C chord without resolving it to the G. In a nod to the gesture that dreams are not fulfilled yet. We're not resolving it. Back to the root. Shut up, Tim. Okay. So that last bit is a bit of a combination. We briefly go back to the verse chords, but really strongly while the singers really hold on to that note. Then there's a big gap while they sing their last bit. The thing to say about that strong bit is the chords are easy enough. G, D, E minor 7, and then jump the gun. We play that last C half a beat early. It's quite important to do. If everyone does it in the group, it works really well. And if one person doesn't, it's like, oh. So we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... I didn't do it. Let's try that again. G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So we jump the gun by half a beat on that last C chord. Right, that's all the structure of the song. That last bit I wasn't able to fit neatly onto the sheet in any way, so I've written it in quite small. It says third time play G, D, E minor C, pause, and then play the first line of intro to finish. So it is on the sheet, but it's almost impossible to read if you're looking at it on a phone, I guess. So do print it out and just learn that bit. Check the comments. Ooh. This sequence borrowed from the Beatles, perhaps? Perhaps. Who am I to say? No one copies the Beatles. What are you talking about? Particularly not Oasis. It also reminds me of Michelle. Not quite the same, but I mean, yes, it is quite a common sequence because it's just moving in the smallest step possible in music. It's a bit like saying so-and-so's copying me because they're walking with putting one foot in front of the other. It's that fundamental. This sequence is the only way of moving semitone at a time from a minor chord. So it's what happens when you do that, and so it is going to pop up in lots of different songs. But well spotted, Andy. You've got lots of points for chat banter today. Wise remarks and insulting my singing as well. Right, it is 10 past 10. That means it's time to play through the whole song. I'm going to go and find some company. Music is better together, to quote Jack Johnson, who I don't particularly like. But I hope you guys are playing with other people in your house. If not, at least you're playing with us remotely. And I really look forward to the day when we can meet together and play music in the same room without wearing masks. One day it will happen. But for now, let's play this together on, not on Zoom, but on the internet. And the last thing before I go and get Sophia is to say thank you for joining in. It is half term next week, so we're going to take a break. And as some of you may know, we've got a new baby coming to the family, all being well. That will happen fairly soon after half term. I don't know the exact date. We're expecting mid-March. We think it might be early, but that means that there may well be an interruption in service. And we don't know what's going to happen with lockdown, so there may be an indefinite break to these live streams. I suspect I will still keep making videos after half term, but I will let you know when the live streams will start again. If you would like to know, you can subscribe to the channel,
click the little bell next to that to get notifications when I post a new live stream. There's also a mailing list in the description if you want traditional email message when I set up a new live stream. So do sign up there if you want to know when we're going to restart. But I suspect I'll have some more things to think about once little Baba arrives, all being well. So that's that news. If you're liking these and you're finding them helpful, then do check the other links in the description. They show you how you can support me to keep making them. You guys are allowing me to make these videos. No one else is paying me to produce them other than you. So all the resources are free. They're not my songs. You can download them. You can also Google them yourself and find a million other versions of these songs played on the ukulele, but none done in quite the same way as Dr. Sparks here. Right, stop talking, Tim. I'm going to go and get Sophia and let's play some music. I found some company. Hope you guys have too. So there's that one. I've already done my spiel, so we can go straight in.
Cool, great.
Can you see Sophia?
I can't tell because I can't see what's going on the screen.
You can sort of see her.
There.
So guys, I haven't got the ability to put the chords for the bridge on the screen at the same time as the other bit. So unless someone wants to click some buttons for me while we're playing, think you can carry the tune while I click a button?
Yes, well,
Possibly.
sure.
If I feel like I can, I'll switch over to the chords on the bridge. But if not, you might just have to learn it. I mean, come on.
There's no difficult chords at all.
There's no difficult chords at all on the bridge. No, we talked about it because Andy already knows them because they're pinched from the Beatles.
Are they?
So everyone should know them.
Cool.
Okay, so we're going to do all the way through intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, intro. Only half of the intro in between the verses. It's just the first line of it. Then the second verse, then pre-chorus, then the chorus. Goes straight to the bridge from the end of the chorus. It goes straight in. There's no pause. So I'm going to have trouble switching over. I might try and do it on a million dreams for the world with... If I can do it there.
I should practice that.
Yeah, that works. And then I've got to switch back again. I'm not going to switch back again for the final chorus, so you're going to have to deal with that. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and...
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of what I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. Verse 2. are, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. But we can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. Take us there.
Weird.
You may be right, you may be wrong. Me along to the world you see. To the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Build it up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me awake.
A million dreams. I think of what the world could be. A vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make. Significant pause. Massive retardando. Beautiful and only slightly humorous. And yeah, we're still on the screen somewhere. Guys, just check the chat. Yes, another potential member of the band. Just here. Hey, Baba.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Guys, thank you so much. This will be the last live stream for a little while, as I said before. Do sign up for the mailing list or subscribe to the channel if you'd like to know when they restart. Let me know what you think. There is a possibility that we could move to a different format, maybe a live Zoom call associated with Macclesfield Music Centre, rather than doing a public live stream. I'm not sure if that's better or not. What do you think? Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments, let me know by email. I might even send out a questionnaire, who knows. But for now, have a great half term, whatever that means for you, and have a great, hopefully, end of lockdown. And the next time we see each other on the live stream, there might be a new Sparks in the world. I will let you know. Have a great break. See you next time.